All right, welcome. This is DB talking now, DB talking birds, DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. I know I have not been on with you guys for about a week. I do apologize about that. My schedule has been completely crazy, and no excuses. I apologize, but I am here right now, and let's get to talking. It is a day before draft, less than 24 hours before the NFL draft begins, and the rumors are hot and heavy, guys. The rumors are hot and heavy. Zach Ertz, obviously, as we know, has not been traded yet from the Philadelphia Eagles, but the time is coming. The time is coming, and the Eagles are looking to move up, and Zach Ertz is heavily involved in trade talks to be moved and to be included as a part of a trade package. AJ Styles, welcome to the channel, my friend. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Let's get to talking. We are less than 24 hours from the NFL draft. I have not been with you guys for quite a bit. I know that. I apologize. But hey, it's been a crazy work week. So let's get to talking. What do you guys think is gonna go down? What do you guys? I have a feeling that the Eagles are not gonna stay at 12. I have a feeling that the Eagles are in fact going to move back up into the top 10. You know, I've had some crazy theories, and it's this, right? We have not heard the Eagles interested in Kyle Pitts. There has not been a lot of talk up to this week about the Eagles' interest in Kyle Pitts, and it makes sense. Howie Roseman likes to play his cards close to the vest. So the fact that we're starting to hear those types of rumors come out makes sense to me. The Eagles might want to trade up. Kyle Pitts might be the guy that they're going to go ahead and get at 7 or 8 or 9, wherever they trade up to. Whether it's the Detroit Lions, whether it's the Carolina Panthers, whether it's the Denver Broncos, we will just have to see. And who are they going to pick first? AJ Styles says, it could be Kyle Pitts. It could be Jamar Chase if he falls. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The other thing that I want to kind of bring up to kind of put out there in our thought process is the media loves to talk about the top 10. In fact, the media covers the top 10 picks. That's what they do. When they do draft breakdowns, they do nothing but break down the top 10. Howie Roseman is a guy who likes to play his cards close to the vest. He could have just decided, hey, we're going to trade out of the top 10, acquire an extra pick so that they can also stop talking about our pick and stop micromanaging what we might do, and then make our trade back up into the top 10 so that we can kind of disguise what we're going to do a little bit better. It could possibly be for Kyle Pitts. I'm just not sure. That's the thing. I'm just not sure. I don't think that they'll need to move up for a JC Horn, and I don't think that they're terribly interested in Patrick Surtain. Howie Roseman the Eagles haven't drafted a guy from Alabama since 2002. There are some reports out there saying, that the Eagles aren't really listening to the size concerns of Devontae Smith. And look, do I think the Eagles are going to draft I think the Eagles are going to try and trade up. I think the Eagles are going to try and trade up to I think it could possibly be Kyle Pitts. But do I think the Eagles are going to try and trade up for Devontae Smith? No, I don't. I don't think it's going to be Devontae Smith. And I also don't think it's going to be Devontae Smith at 12 either, especially if you have Jalen Waddle on the board. I wonder, and this is a pretty justified wonder. If they like Jalen Waddle so much, would they trade up for Jalen Waddle just to guarantee that they're going to get him? You know what I mean? I think the big thing that is interesting to notate is there are rumors coming out of Dallas that they're not going to trade up if the price is too heavy. You know what I mean? And I do see that there's more than one than just AJ Styles listening in. Please send me your questions, concerns, comments, be more than happy to talk about it. More than happy to talk about it. Who do you think is going to be, if you are not a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, who is your team, and what do you want your team to take in the first round of the NFL draft that starts tomorrow, less than 24 hours away, and we can get to talking about it. I do have a buddy who is a Tennessee Titans fan. We could talk about the Titans just for a second. I personally believe, I mean, look, what they do with Ryan Tannehill is absolutely phenomenal, but I personally believe that they could probably, capitalize on the young years of the Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? Go out and get yourself a playmaking quarterback, somebody who's got some more upside than Ryan Tannehill, and that way you have the thunder and you have the lightning and the thunder, of your offense. Ryan Tannehill is a manager. The Titans need some more spark. They really do. It can't just be Derrick Henry all the time. Now, that might be crazy to say to Titans fans, but pretty soon they're going to find out it can't just be Derrick Henry all the time. At the end of the day, the running back wheels will fall off. And I think if Mac Jones, if they can find a way, maybe, I don't know, or they can address offensive line. Go ahead and get an offensive lineman for the Tennessee Titans. But that's all I'll say about the Tennessee Titans. I just have a buddy who's a Titans fan, and I'm sure he'll be happy to know that I just addressed the Titans' needs. But moving on, look, there's a lot of heat coming out of Philadelphia, and a lot of that heat is this. I mean, apparently Howie Roseman has been hitting up the phones nonstop, trying to trade back up into the top 10. And as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I am so curious as to who it is going to be. Do they need to trade up for J.C. Horn? Maybe they do. There's reports saying that Caleb Farley could fall out of the first round. There's reports saying that Caleb Farley could fall out of the first round. Cornerback out of VT, Virginia Tech. So I don't know. Are there further concerns? Regardless of what he had been medically cleared regarding his injury and his back, are there further concerns, that they're not letting us know about? Anytime a skill position player has an injury like that, there's always going to be lingering concerns. And I wouldn't take Caleb Farley that high anyway. I would either go J.C. Horn or I would just go wide receiver. I'm still on the pendulum swing when it comes to Patrick Surtain. I really am. I think he's going to be a great player, but I just have a really good feeling about J.C. Horn. If we're going to take a cornerback, just grab J.C. Horn. If he's there, grab him. There's one thing that I worry, though, and this is it. And this is why the Eagles could be trading up for a guy like J.C. Horn. If they were to trade up for him, Dallas might be sold on J.C. Horn as well. And as we all know, Dallas needs to shore up their secondary. So AJ Styles says, do you think that we might get another quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles? Yeah, AJ, I do. The Eagles do need another quarterback. We still only have two quarterbacks right now. We still only have Joe Flacco, and we still only have Jalen Hurts. Everybody and their mother knows, that you got to go into training camp, and you got to kind of go into the camp season with at least three quarterbacks. You know what I mean? A lot of teams go into camps with four, but you at least got to go in with three, not two. So yeah, they're definitely going to draft a quarterback. And I think that guy that they're eyeing, honestly, is probably Kyle Trask. I think just us having Brian Johnson on the staff, you and I have talked about this at length in the past. I think having Brian Johnson on the staff gives us some insight on Kyle Trask, and I think if Kyle Trask is there in the third round, I think that's the guy that they're going to go ahead and snatch. And I think since we last talked, since I was last on a week ago, you know, Nick Sirianni came out. Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman and Andy Whiteout, they came out and had their press conference. And Nick Sirianni pretty much said that the Eagles are going to have an open competition at the quarterback competition, at the quarterback position, and well, all positions really, and that makes sense. That's what you expect to hear out of your new head coach. But first things first is what does that mean for Jalen Hurts? Well, he's not going to be the supposed starter, and so this is what we know. Joe Flacco is about 36 years old. We know this for a fact. It's not going to be Joe Flacco starting the season. So who's your quarterback competition going to come from? Well, it's probably going to be Joe Flacco, and it's probably going to be Jalen Hurts, and then it's going to be another guy that comes in here. It's just that, does Joe Flacco actually have a shot? No, he doesn't. He doesn't actually have a shot to win the starting job. It's going to be Jalen Hurts, and it's going to be some other guy that is not on the roster yet. So, but that leads us to our next topic, right? Howie Roseman's really good at playing his cards close to the vest. Could they be trading up to draft the quarterback, which is exactly what we thought all along this entire time? Well, not the entire time, but what we thought in the very beginning. We thought this in the very beginning, that they might try and trade up to draft the quarterback. And that's when that was before that's before they traded back. But now they have the extra first round pick to do much more. If they were to trade back up into the top 10, they could probably grab Mac Jones. You know what I mean? They could probably grab Mac Jones. The issue is and I'll talk about this for a second. I'll talk about this for a second in this way, which is, I think what the 49ers did was completely irresponsible. The 49ers traded up to pick number 3 without a plan. They traded up to pick number 3 without a plan. They don't know what quarterback they want. It's very apparent that they don't know what quarterback they want. They still haven't decided whether it's going to be Justin Fields or whether it's going to be Mac Jones. The thing is, you just don't do that. That's not smart to do, especially with the assets that they gave up to get to number 3. Now, granted, now they have the 3rd spot, and now it just seems like they aren't sure if either guy is worth that spot. But here's the interesting thing is, for the Philadelphia Eagles, if the Philadelphia Eagles liked Mac Jones and the 49ers decided to take Justin Fields, then all the Eagles really need to do is just trade up to pick number 7, and most likely Mac Jones will be there. Because here's the thing. It's not smart for the Falcons to take a quarterback right now. They could, but I don't see them taking a quarterback right now. It's not smart for them to do that right now because Matt Ryan is still playing great, and he still has a couple years left on his contract, and you don't want to waste the rookie contract for a new quarterback at number 4. You just don't want to do it. It's the rookie quarterback window. And you just don't want to waste those years. You can. It's not smart. I don't necessarily see them doing that. Speaking of Atlanta, they are fielding trade calls for Julio Jones. Do I think the Eagles are going to do anything about that? No, probably not. I don't see them doing that because we're in a youth window right now, and it really wouldn't make any sense. And plus, he costs a lot of money, and so we couldn't afford it anyway. But, here's the thing. If the Eagles, I think that's why the Eagles would want to trade up. That might be why the Eagles would want to trade up. If Mac Jones falls to 7, Eagles might want to go up to 7 and take Mac Jones. Or Trey Lance is falling. Trey Lance has lost a lot of thunder in the mock drafts, and however the Eagles feel about Trey Lance, he could be their guy too. You never know. That's the interesting thing as well. But there's going to be a lot of contention for there's going to be a lot of contention. There's going to be a lot of trade talks going on. A lot of these trade. That's the interesting thing too. By the way, AJ, is a lot of these trades are done pre-draft. So a lot of these conversations have already been had, and it's kind of one of those things where it's, if this happens, let's make this move. So a lot of these scenarios have already been pre-planned, planned out, and then it's just a matter of a quick call from GM to GM. Let's make the move, let's make the trade, and boom, bada boom. But I think the Eagles already have a trade in place to move up, and it includes Zach Ertz, who would go to probably Detroit. I think they're going to move up to Detroit to pick 7. And I think we're going to see that tomorrow. I think we're going to see it pre-draft, pre the start of the draft, and it's going to be, and I think it's going to be a good one. I don't know. I'm really excited for this draft. I think there's going to be a lot of exciting things that go on. Howie Roseman needs to kill this draft, AJ. Howie Roseman needs to kill this draft. He cannot afford to. Howie Roseman cannot afford to make any mistakes in this draft, let alone he can't afford to make any mistakes in this draft or next year's draft. But let's just focus on this year right now. It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I say it's an exciting time to be any type of fan whatsoever, honestly. We have about 4 quarterbacks that could go in the top 7 picks. Really. I mean, we got Trevor Lawrence, we got Justin Fields, we got Mac Jones, we got Zach Wilson. And so I think that we're going to see some moves. We're going to see some moves being made. Justin Jefferson, Philadelphia Eagles. So I did see this story. So Justin Jefferson and the Philadelphia Eagles. So Justin Jefferson was surprised that the Philadelphia Eagles did not take him. Did want to be taken by the Philadelphia Eagles last year. That's what I read. But he's also happy that he was selected by the Minnesota Vikings. And that makes sense because he had a phenomenal rookie year with the Minnesota Vikings this past year. And that's pretty much it on the Justin Jefferson train. However, I will say this when it comes to Justin Jefferson, obviously LSU wide receiver, Terrace Marshall Jr., who the Philadelphia Eagles have reportedly have a ton of interest in. He is the one who did take over the Justin Jefferson role at LSU when Justin Jefferson came out of and into the draft last season. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see if the Philadelphia Eagles can get their hands on Justin Jefferson or on Terrace Marshall. I would love Terrace Marshall in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform. I think that would be phenomenal. I would even be okay for the Philadelphia Eagles to trade up back into the first round to grab Terrace Marshall, and that includes throwing in our 2nd round pick this year and one of our 3rd round picks just to go out and grab Terrace Marshall. But what would that mean? That means the Philadelphia Eagles took a cornerback with their first round pick. That's what that would mean. Other than that, I wouldn't do it. Just because I think that the Eagles need to get a cornerback wide receiver within the first 2 picks. Whatever they do, they need to do that. They need to do that early in this draft, and it's got to be in some version of that combination. It's either going to be quarterback, wide receiver, or wide receiver, cornerback. And I don't care if they got to trade up to do it, what they got to do it, but they got to go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? So it's that simple. It really is that simple. I also think it's interesting to bring this back up because the Falcons were looking to trade out of number 4 a few weeks ago. We haven't heard much of that since. But since those rumors were out for about a week, towards the end of that week, about 3 weeks ago, they were having tough times trading out because it was going to cost too much, but I wouldn't be surprised if those rumors resurfaced. I would not be surprised if those rumors resurfaced. But the other thing to note too is that Jalen Waddle is finally being linked to the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank God, thank God, thank God. Jalen Waddle. And I think that it's important to notate all of these names that are coming out late. I really do, because one, I want Jalen Waddle over Devontae Smith, and I also think Jalen Waddle has the higher upside over most of the wide receivers in this class. I really do. I really do. I think he's better. I think he's right up there with Jamar Chase. Call me crazy, but I think he's right up there with Jamar Chase. You can call me crazy. You can call me whatever you want, but I think where I say Jamar Chase is going to be a faster Anquan Bolden, which paints a pretty good picture for Jamar Chase. It does. Anquan Bolden was no slouch. You know what I mean? He was phenomenal. I see Jalen Waddle being more of like a Hines Ward. You know what I'm saying? And Hines Ward was phenomenal. So, you know, there's no Hines Ward, Reggie Wayne. I mean, you put 2 and 2 together and you get spaghetti and meatballs. You know what I'm saying? Spaghetti and meatballs. It's delicious. Delicious, delicious. It's just absolutely phenomenal, AJ. It's just great, you know? I say Jalen Waddle, JC Horn. But if they trade up to 7, it's for a quarterback. If they trade up to 7, it's for a quarterback. I can't. Howie Roseman is on record in past drafts saying that we are going to be a quarterback factory. And as much as I hate it, as much as I don't want it to, because I really think Jalen Hurts can do and be the guy. And I think that if they trade up and if their guy falls, and I think that guy could be either Justin Fields or Mac Jones. Then they'll stay at 12 and they'll take Jalen Waddle or JC Horn. That's what I think. And so those odds are pretty high, right? Because let's look at it. Pick one, you have Trevor Lawrence. Pick 2, you have Zach Wilson. Pick 3, that's where it gets weird, because 49ers have not made up their decision yet because they're irresponsible, right? They have not made their mind. They have not made their minds up yet. That's where it gets weird. So they could either take. I think they're going to take Justin Fields. Let's just say they take Justin Fields. I still think the Eagles are going to be interested in Mac Jones. So 4, let's say the Falcons just take. Let's just say the Falcons take Jamar Chase because they're fielding calls for Julio Jones. 5, the Bengals take Penei Sewell. 6, the Dolphins take Micah Parsons or JC Horn because they need defense. They do need it. Or they could take Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle. Who knows? But then the Eagles trade up to 7. Boom, Mac Jones. There it is. Or Trey Lance. I don't even know. I mean, that's the thing, is I don't even know. There's too many guys. There's too many guys, man. There's too many guys. There are too many guys. Here's the thing. I don't think that. There's also rumors that the Eagles are interested in Kwity Paye and absolutely love Kwity Paye, and that would drive me insane. You know, fellow YouTuber Philly 500. While I wouldn't be as upset with that pick as he would be. I would be pretty upset. Sorry, I don't want another Michigan guy. At pick number 12. We got that in Brandon Graham. I've said that in previous streams before. And we saw how that panned out. No. You want to take a defensive lineman at 12? Take a defensive tackle. Take Christian Barmore. I'd be okay with that. I'd be more okay with that than Kwity Paye. You want to take an edge rusher at 12? Take Jason Away. I'd be okay with that. I just don't want Kwity Paye. No. Take Micah Parsons. Don't take Kwity Paye. If you're gonna take a defender outside of a cornerback at 12, take a linebacker. You know what I mean? Like, be smart. Stop being dumb. All Howie really needs to do is just listen to his fans. His fans have been right the last 4 years. We've been right. You know what I mean? We wanted DK Metcalf. You know? And who else did we want? There's tons. It's hard to remember them all. I'm sure we wanted Marquise Brown, and Marquise Brown was there. I'm sure we wanted this. I'm sure we wanted that. I'm sure we wanted Earl Thomas back in 2011, and we got Brandon Graham. You know what I mean? So, like, it's just, and of course, all these topics of conversation are coming up because it's the day. It's less than 24 hours to the draft, and we gotta relive some painful memories of draft. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, and please leave your comments in the comment section. When and where, in which round do you think Zach Ertz gets traded? I think it's going to happen before the draft, and I think it's going to be a move up. I think the Eagles are going to move up from 12 to something. And I think it's going to be 7, 8, or 9. Because here's the thing, right? The Eagles, what the Eagles are going to need to move up from 12 to 7 or 8 is probably going to be a third-round pick. What did the Eagles want in return for Zach Ertz? They wanted a third-round pick, and they weren't able to get it. But if they include Zach Ertz in a trade, makes sense to me. Here's a report right here from the Bleacher Report. Perception within the league is that Philly and Arizona really like the Alabama wide receiver in the first round. Eagles and the Cardinals love Jalen Waddle. Toxic Falcons, welcome, my man. Yo, you in late. Yeah, man. Yeah. My work schedule's changed, dude. My work schedule has changed. That's why I've not been able to be with you guys, and I'm so sorry. And I know I said this last week. I apologize, my brother. I know. This is just how this is one of those things. This is how it's gonna be. But I want to really focus on. I get off work around 6:30 Mountain Standard Time now. So, and I just had some shit to do. I had some shit to do tonight after work, but it's draft week, baby. It's draft week. So I had to do a preview. I had to do a preview with you guys today. Draft starts tomorrow. Wednesday. Doesn't it? Why do I have why am I under the impression? I'm going to try. I really am. I'm going to try. I'll probably be working and streaming at the same time, which means that you guys might get a glimpse of me working. It usually is Thursday, but there have been other YouTubers that have been saying it's Wednesday. Let me double check. Okay, yeah, it is on the 29th. It is Thursday. It is on Thursday. That's my bad. Well, I guess it's good I got to you guys tonight then. Because I'll be with you tomorrow. And so now that we got 2 days of talking. Yeah. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence isn't showing up for the draft. I mean, that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. There's a few things that Trevor Lawrence said that I could make a big deal about, but I'm not going to. About his competitiveness or talking about his competitiveness and whether or not he is competitive. I look, Trevor Lawrence has gotten the goods. He's got the goods. And I still have full belief that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a good quarterback. But I'm not worried about Trevor Lawrence not showing up for the draft. That's fine. That's his decision. If he wants to just enjoy the draft with his family and the comfort of his home, that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. He can do what he does, whatever. People do that. People have been doing that for a while. It's not a big thing. It's not a big thing. But as far as streaming on Thursday, I'm gonna try. You played against Trevor Lawrence in high school and middle school. Didn't he suck in high school? Didn't he suck in high school? He's insanely he's better, isn't he? He's better than he was. That's pretty cool. I went to school with an NFL linebacker, Devon Kennard. But yeah, Toxic Falcons. What do you think, Tox? What do you think your Falcons are going to do, my man? I mean, I don't see them taking a quarterback at 4. I just don't see it. Is Patrick going to be on to give insight for Thursday draft? Patrick, yes, I will make sure he is on because I'm still going to be working. Jalen, welcome to the channel, my friend. I'm glad that you guys are here, and I'm sorry that it's very, very late. But my work schedule has changed, and I am so sorry. Falcons are taking Pitts at 4. That's the general consensus, it seems, between the two of you, Toxic Falcons. That just seems, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I mean, obviously, there's rumors that they're fielding calls for Julio. So I wonder if they're gonna go Jamar Chase. Falcons are taking Pitts. Jalen, you're taking Pitts. I hate when people say we are looking to trade Julio. It won't happen. Are looking to trade Julio. I just said it looks like my stream cut out there for a second. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, no, I'm saying I just heard that there were reports that you guys might be looking to trade Julio. And I think there have been reports that way for a while now. So, I mean, years. But, I mean, can you blame people? I mean, it's a cap hit. It's a cap casualty. He's getting older, Oh yeah. Well, people are going to continue to say it. I mean, he's got a huge contract, man. It's just a smokescreen. Pitts to 4. Yeah, it's just really high. I mean, I get that he can do everything, but like it's still really, really, really high. Jalen apparently can predict the future. So Pitts, Chase, Sewell will be gone 4, 5, and 6. End of question. Dolphins are moving their tackle to guard, so they'll take a tackle. Yeah, maybe. I'm still open to the idea. That maybe the Falcons find a trade suitor because they were looking to trade out of 4 3 weeks ago. So we could see that start to pop up. And then the Falcons bring in some capital because they have a lot of holes to fill. Julio just Toxic Falcon says Julio, just like others, they don't do training camp. That's why you always say he's getting hurt. The Dolphins don't even believe in Tua. Yeah, I mean, I personally still have to see more from Tua. To be honest with you, I'm not a full-on Tua believer yet either. What do you guys think? You guys think Zach Ertz? When do you guys think Zach Ertz is going to get traded in this draft? I think he's going to get moved before the draft even starts on Thursday. Jalen, what do you think about that? There's a lot of heat coming out of Philadelphia talking about moving up in the top 10. Jalen says, interesting thing for me is ESPN reported Cardinals are confident they can land Parsons, Horn, or Smith at 16. That's crazy. One of those guys will slide all the way there. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy. Just the way that we've been talking about it. But it's possible. It definitely is possible, especially with the way that these draft mocks seem to be coming up. Parsons, I definitely could see it. Smith is turning off some people just because of his inconsistency in talking about his size. Whether or not there are people who don't really care, there are people that do, and he is under what he said that he was. Ertz still has trade value, Jalen. Ertz still has trade value. He still has trade value. Yeah, and that's the one thing too is I think if the Eagles are going to trade up, I think it's going to be for Horn or I think it's going to be for Waddle. But it wouldn't surprise me if it's for Horn because Dallas could be right. Dallas could take Horn before the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't think the Eagles want to get stupid by Dallas. If they go cornerback, yeah, they would have to. They would have to. If they don't, I would be severely surprised. I'd be severely surprised. But honestly, if it were me, Toxic Falcons, and it's a great question, if it were me, I would have them trade back up and grab Terrace Marshall. Can you imagine Kyler with James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins, and Devontae Smith? Hopefully we can get Ertz, Sanders, and Waddle to compete. I think that's very doable. And yeah, I think the recent reports are that the Cardinals are very interested in Waddle, as well as the Eagles are. And so I think that the Cardinals are going to try and I think the Cardinals have been trying to trade up have been trying to trade up in general for a few weeks now. And I think that that's definitely possible. Whether or not they're interested in Devontae Smith, I haven't heard anything regarding that. And I talked to Patrick about the Cardinals nonstop all the time, and he hasn't heard anything about that. But I do think that they're interested in Waddle. Cardinals are getting stacked. Yeah, the Cardinals are getting stacked. So are the Washington football team, believe it or not. So are the Washington football team. See, I'm actually more worried. Like that's the thing. That's the thing about the Cardinals is like I think that they're doing what the Eagles did in 2017, but like I still worry about Kyler's like I still worry about Kyler. And I still worry about that defense. You live in AZ, right? What's the Jalen Hurtsby says you live in AZ, right? What's the vibe there with Cards? They're my team other than the Eagles this season to root for. Well, Arizona is like a melting pot, honestly. So, not a lot of people. I mean, yeah, it's like a melting pot. So there's a lot of like Cowboys fans, honestly, and then there's a lot of like outsider fans. There are a lot of Cardinals fans, but they don't really know what they're talking about. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus or anything. Patrick's like a unicorn, basically. Patrick's like a unicorn. So Washington football team. I hate that name. Yeah, me too. They got to come up with a new name. Jalen, so you're not rooting for the Falcons. Bet. Yeah. Yeah, no, of course. They have they have good players. They have good players on the defense, but it's going to be dependent upon their development. So there's a few things that I worry about with the Cardinals, and it's can they consistently do it? Can they consistently gel together and mesh together and punch a team in the mouth? And I said this before, they need to develop an identity that punches a team in the mouth that they can consistently go to and, buries an opponent. I mean, we literally almost saw the 4-11-1 Philadelphia Eagles almost beat the Arizona Cardinals. And the Arizona Cardinals were clearly the better team. They were the better team. And it shouldn't have happened. So it shouldn't have happened. But I would watch out. It's going to be an interesting draft. I think there's going to be teams that are going to be trading up. I'm not going to rule out Bill Belichick. I think he's going to try and trade up. And that's going to be an interesting thing for Bill to do. He's not usually one to do that. What time are you guys getting on Thursday? I'm going to say that we get on at 3:30. How's that sound? Does that sound good for you guys? We can get on at 3:30. I'm going to be getting on while I'm still working. So hopefully Patrick will be able to start with you guys. And then and I'll chime in when I can. But I'll be right there with you guys. That's the plan. That is the plan. Larry needs a ring. Larry. Larry needs a ring. Larry does need a ring. Out of any vet still playing in the NFL who doesn't have a ring, I would say it's Larry. Larry deserves a ring. Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald still needs a ring. Got to get that ring. Got to get that boom, boom, pow. How's that Fergie song go? Honestly, Jalen, you might like this. This is another take that I brought up not too long ago, about 30 minutes ago, is that the Philadelphia Eagles are clearly interested in trying to get back up into the top 10. I really do think that this is another thing as well, is if one of these quarterbacks, whether it be Mac Jones or Justin Fields, and it's going to depend on obviously who the 49ers take at 3, because they irresponsibly traded up to 3 because they don't know who they want yet. I think if it's Justin Fields who falls to 7, I think the Eagles could trade up and take Justin Fields. So there's that. Or it could be Mac Jones. I don't know. But I think they like both. I think they like both. Jalen Hurts me says, go Eagles. Final prediction for me, we trade up and get Horn. Nice. I like it. Well, all right. Good night, Jalen. Jalen says, I think the last report is down to Lance or Jones at 3, and they ruled out Fields. I would love us to take Fields. I did not see that report. Everything I see is still comes down to Jones or Fields. But if that's the case, if Lance is getting love again, that's interesting. That makes sense. They should go. That just puts the cherry on top of 49ers of the 49ers irresponsibility that I'm talking about. Why would you trade all that up to 3 and not know who you're going to take? Why? Makes no sense. But anyway, let them fuck up their luck. Let them fuck up their draft, because that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to take this. They're going to take a quarterback and they're going to second guess it, even after they've already taken the guy. And that's exactly what Kyle Shanahan is about to do. And I bet you they're going to take Trey Lance, but they're going to wish that they took Justin Fields. Justin Fields or Mac Jones is still going to be on the board at 7, and the Eagles are going to trade up and they're going to draft either Mac Jones or Fields. Guaranteed. And then Nick Sirianni gets the competition that he wants. So does Jeffrey Lurie, and so does Howie Roseman. That's fine. They don't want Mac. That's fine. Justin Fields fits their system better, but that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. The steal of the draft is Kelly Mond. Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. The steal of the draft is going to be Gwen Stefani. That's the steal of the draft. But anyway, guys, I will have to agree with you. I wanted to get on here just to check in with you and let you know that I did not forget about you. And I'm glad that you guys did not forget about me. It was good to talk to you guys. And I'm glad that we are in and checking in with each other 2 days before the draft. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get this one last report out of the way. Jalen Hurts me says, as the 49ers close in on their decision of which QB to take, number 3, sources say they are down to 2 prospects. And the belief is those 2 are Bama QB Mac Jones and NDSU quarterback Trey Lance, obviously North Dakota State University. And that is true. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the draft plays out, if that is indeed fact the case. You guys, Jalen Hurts me, AJ Styles, Toxic Falcons. You guys have a beautiful evening. Please get a good night's sleep. Stay safe. Stay healthy. One love. Go Birds, baby.